What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. Listen, part one of this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion just went down, and let me tell you something. Y'all know that I was telling y'all that we got a 4-part reunion, and I did not feel like we needed 4 parts of this reunion. I said they gonna sit here and waste my time for 2 of these episodes, and then it's just gonna be the other 2. But let me tell y'all something, baby. Part 1 didn't disappoint. Now, we might not have got into the whole nitty gritty with Erica too much, but part 1 didn't disappoint. Let's talk about it a little bit. I got some notes, because I got to keep up. First of all, I don't do too much with the fashions, okay? I'm just not that girl. But as much as it pains me to say, I think my favorite outfit was Dorit's. That Dorit said she designed it herself. It's from her ready to wear line. I thought it was cute. I liked it. But again, it's sitting down. I didn't go through a whole person by person. I can tell you who I hated. I hated Erica's outfit. I absolutely positively. I don't know what, baby. I don't know what that was. I have never seen Erica. Listen, Erica doesn't get it wrong, and I feel like that dress was a fail. It looked like a prom dress from the 1980s. It just wasn't it for me. But okay, y'all tell me if y'all agree, disagree, let me know. So the set was supposed to be Kathy Hilton's backyard, which I thought was hilarious because y'all know when Kathy Hilton came out there, she had no idea that it was supposed to be her damn backyard. But honestly, I couldn't tell that it was supposed to be her backyard either. I mean, it was similar, but it wasn't really a replica. So I don't know if I would have noticed it either. I thought that was very interesting that that's what they chose. Like, they could have chose a setting from Big Bear. They could have chose a setting from was it La Quinta? They could have chose the setting from that last place they went to. They chose Kathy Hilton's backyard, which, and don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful backyard. I just thought that was an interesting choice. I also didn't quite get what the theme was for the dresses. The one thing that they get right with these reunions, at least in the last few years, I can't say from the very beginning, but definitely they always give us a color palette. And so everything is very uniform at the reunion. The women are wearing the same color choices. Like, usually it's like, okay, we're going to do, golds and browns, or we're going to do yellows, or we're going to do, there's a color scheme there. I said golds and browns. I don't write, but y'all know what I'm saying. Well, yeah, gold and brown. But y'all know what I'm saying. It looked like Andy just said, wear whatever y'all feel like it. I didn't see any uniformity to it. And so I think that also added to the craziness of it, because there was no, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? I said uniformity already, but that's not quite the word I'm looking for. Y'all know what consistency, that still ain't the right word, but y'all know what the point I'm trying to make. Somebody gonna put it in the comments of the word that they know I'm trying to think of. But anyway, so we started off with Erica, because of course we're going to start off with Erica. And Andy kept it a little light. Okay, he asked her, was she nervous about coming and all that? And of course, Erica was being Erica. I'm not nervous. Why would I be nervous, Andy? He was like, well, did you sleep well last night? Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? And he was like, well, I mean, I just thought maybe you would feel some kind of way about having to come here knowing you was going to have to face, the questions. I'm ready to answer all of your questions. She said, some questions I won't be able to answer, but I'm ready to answer whatever you have, and let's go. The one thing that Erica said that pissed me off, and from the tweets, it pissed everybody off. She said the alleged victims. So let me say this. I could understand her saying Tom's alleged crimes. I could understand her saying Tom allegedly stole stole from the victims. All of that I get. What I don't get is for you saying alleged victims. That's a fact. These people were victims. They were victims in what happened to them, and then they were victimized again by not getting their money. Now, I understand everybody like to throw that allegedly around, but let's be appropriate in what we're alleging, because we're not alleging that these people are victims. They are victims. Now, you can say alleged Tom taking their money, because I get that you don't want to say that, but whatever, Erica, whatever, child. She just throwing alleged around everywhere now, everywhere. What's his name? Andy asked her about dating. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big dick. She said she is dating. She opened a date and she looking for a man with a big I don't think any of us saw that coming, but I mean, I'm not mad at you, Erica. I'm not mad at you. You just kind of threw me off with that one, okay? She said that her lawyers did want her to quit the show, but she told them she had nothing to hide. And he asked her, well, you're not nervous about them maybe taking some things you said and using it against you? And she was like, no, I'm not worried because I didn't do anything wrong. Famous last words. They talked about the Sutton Crystal situation. Andy asked who talked to lawyers. And, Sutton said, listen, I want to clear this up. I did not call my lawyer. I talked to a friend of mine who is a lawyer. Crystal says she talked to a lawyer because she said, listen, this is my first time on TV. I had to sign a lot of paperwork and I had to sign a lot of releases, and I just wanted to make sure that I was good. She said, but I call my lawyers about everything. Kyle said that she didn't call a lawyer, but she did talk to Faye, who we know is one of her best friends. Talked to Faye's husband, who's an attorney, and asked him to break down the LA Times article for her because she didn't understand it. Kyle, you playing games, because that's what everybody did. It was when that LA Times article came out that made everybody say, oh shit. So you did the same thing that Sutton did, that Crystal did, and probably every single person that just didn't want to admit it did. Because if you didn't call an attorney or consult a friend that's an attorney, you a damn fool. So everybody on that couch did it. And if you didn't, like I said, you're a damn fool. I got a friend, one of my best friends is a lawyer, and I call her when somebody cut me off in traffic. I'm just saying. We talked a little bit about the Crystal Sutton situation, and basically they realized that they're more alike than they are different. They had to do the whole Sutton thing, showing her with her roller and showing her crying and showing her being real dramatic, She did finally move into her new home. Child, they said she damn near burned down Kyle's house. Kyle had the house on the market but had to take it off because she got repairs to do. Sutton said, girl, I'll fix whatever it is. Girl, what you? Don't be coming on here embarrassing me. Don't do that. But they showed the picture. Sutton said it won't hurt. Now, I don't know who it was, Sutton, but somebody damn near burned that house down. Looked like the fireplace. They had a fire that was too big for that fireplace, and it burned up the mantle and up the wall a little bit. I don't know who did it, Sutton, but they did it while you was renting the house, so you're responsible. Then Andy was like, well, y'all can't take it out her security deposit. They told us they didn't have a security deposit because she was only supposed to be there a month. Well, I tell you what, when that month turned into 6 months, then you say, hey, we need a pet deposit and we need a security deposit because we didn't expect you to be here for a year. And we don't know what you're doing up in this house. But see, that's how rich people roll. Talking about something, it's okay. Because Kyle talking about something, it's okay. I mean, we're laughing about it. Okay, let somebody rip my house and we're not laughing. There's nothing. Sutton's boyfriend and broke up with her on Valentine's Day weekend. Let me tell y'all something. She said they went away for Valentine's Day and they were having a good weekend, and then he broke up with her. First of all, I don't know how you define good weekend, because that is not my definition of a good weekend. That's number one. Number two, people, and I'm going to say this for men and for women. People, I'm going to say this. Don't do it on Valentine's Day. Don't do it on birthdays. Don't do it on major holidays, okay? Do it before or do it after. But listen, if he broke up with her on Valentine's Day, he knew before Valentine's Day that he wanted to break up with her, okay? So either break up with her before Valentine's Day, especially if y'all planned a trip and y'all are away, whatever, unless you have just a big blow up, a big ass argument, and it's just a matter of safety. Listen, work your way out of it, and then the weekend after you can call and say, listen, I was really trying to make this thing work. But to break up with her on Valentine's Day weekend, I just think that's a little disrespectful. But I only have one side of the story, and Sutton said that he said, I just can't do this anymore. So what it sounds like is that he was trying to work through some things, and he was trying to make it work, and he just couldn't do it. So maybe his breaking point was Valentine's Day weekend. But I would rather you just grin and bear it and then call me on Monday. Like, let's just have a good weekend. But whatever. It happened. Then we got into the whole Garcelle and Dorit thing. Let me tell y'all something. I'm so sick of Dorit's ass playing victim, turning this into a situation that it just is not. She had the nerve to be getting mad at Garcelle when they were at the dinner down to Crystal's house, when Garcelle was like, I'm Team Sutton. Why are they talking about Sutton in front of me? And Dorit had the nerve to talk about well, why didn't you say it at the time? Garcelle was like, how do you know I didn't? You weren't even there. Like, how is your example of how horrible of a person I am an event that you weren't even at? And then they talked about how shady she is and how shady she is in the confessionals. I'm sorry. Listen. Every single one of y'all on every single franchise is shady in the comments. Some are shadier than others, but there's not one person that is free and clear. There's not one person that there isn't a moment of shadiness in the confessionals. The very nature of the confessionals make you shady because you film the whole season and then you take the confessionals after the fact. So now you might be taping a confessional for something that happened in episode 1, but because you know what happened in episode 12, you mad. So maybe in that moment you weren't mad at that person and everything was cool and y'all was joking about it, but because of the progression of the season, now you in your feelings and so you got some shit to say. All of them are shady. Is Garcelle shady? She absolutely is. And I think sometimes she is a bit much. But I think a lot of them are. I think Lisa is shady and she's a bit much. I think Kyle is sneaky. Doree had a moment where she yelled at Garcelle. Now, I will say, Garcelle, you did cut Doree off a couple of times. But Doree, I'm going to need you to watch your tone. Okay? But Garcelle, you did cut her off. So, I'm not going to get as mad at Doree as that clip made me want to be mad at Doree. Because when I saw it, I was like, yeah, you did kind of cut her off a couple of times. Now, to be fair, there is editing involved. I don't know how long Doree ass was talking because we know Doree is long-winded as fuck. So she might have just been talking too much and the Garcelle was like, girl, just let's get to the point. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that it was just a bit much and Garcelle was like, let's go. I can't. Let's get to this. Let's go. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt of that. But honestly though, Doree, you be talking a lot. And Garcelle, you did. You had cut her off. But I'm going to need you to watch your tone, Doree. I'm just saying. Child, then we got on the whole Garcelle Lisa thing. Listen. Here's what I think the situation with Garcelle and Lisa boils down to. Garcelle did not like how that situation went down with Denise last season for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, because Garcelle knows that Lisa and Denise were friends for real. Like they were real friends outside of this show before this show. Because her and Lisa were real friends outside of this show before this show. And I think it really, really bothered Garcelle to see what happened with Denise. And I think in Garcelle's mind, 1, I think that's really messed up how you're treating your friend. And I feel some kind of way about how this went down. But 2, if you did it to her, you'll do it to me. And what Garcelle kept saying was, I don't trust Renna. I don't hate Renna. I ain't mad at Renna. I don't trust Renna. And she doesn't trust you, Renna, because she saw what you did to your friend. And her thing is, well, if you did it to her, you will do it to me. And I don't trust you. So yes, we can be cool. We can laugh. We can kiki and we can ha-ha. But at the end of the day, I'm going to always have my side eye on you because I saw what you've done to another so-called friend. That's it. She doesn't have that expectation of anybody else on the show because she wasn't real friends with anybody else on the show before the show started. Her and Sutton have built a friendship, but she ain't friends with these women. The only person she was friends with was Lisa Rinna. And so I think that is why her attitude is the way it is with Lisa Rinna. And then she threw out this thing. Let me tell you something. Here's what irritates me. If me and you are ever arguing about something, don't say, well, somebody told me that you had said. Because the one thing I do agree with Lisa Rinna on, Garcelle threw this thing out, well, somebody told me that you said that I shouldn't bring race on the show, and you didn't like the fact that I brought race on the show. Rinna probably said it. I'm just going to go on. I don't think Rinna probably said it. Because Rinna is a let's just have a good time girl, okay? Nobody wants to talk about heavy stuff. Nobody wants to talk about politics. Nobody wants to talk about those things. Let's just have garden parties and dance-offs. So I believe Lisa probably said it to a mutual friend of theirs. But Garcelle, excuse me, if it bothered you and you had an issue with it, you really should have gone to Lisa. You really should have. But for you to bring it up now, and then, you know, of course, Lisa wants to know who said it. Now, Garcelle said, I ain't going to say it right here, but I will show you some text messages. So I feel like Garcelle is willing to let her know who said it behind the scenes, but that's not something she wanted to put on the show. But I agree with Lisa Rinna on that one. Don't come at me with something I allegedly said, and now you mad at me, and you're holding me accountable to something that you don't know whether I said or not. Like, again, we are all adults. We grown. Pet peeve. Okay? And I'm not always perfect about it either. But let's talk about it. Let's communicate. We too old for this back and forth. He said, she said bullshit. Like, no. But I don't think that was really, I think that Garcelle threw that out there because Lisa kept pressuring her to say, well, tell me, Garcelle, tell me, Garcelle, tell me. Well, at that point, I'm going to just say whatever it is, too. And then Lisa going to say, I don't think that's the real reason. Well, why the fuck you keep asking me if you ain't going to believe what I'm telling you? Because I told you I was fine, and you kept saying, no, Garcelle, it's deeper, it's more. Tell me. And so then she tell you, and you still don't believe her. Y'all. And then, of course, they brought up that whole moment where Garcelle broke down. I told y'all how I felt about that. I told y'all in the moment how I felt about that. That pissed me off because I'm like, this woman has been articulating herself very clearly and very well. But the minute she breaks down into tears and y'all feel like y'all broke her, now all of a sudden, oh, thank you for being so open. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being... Fuck y'all. That's how I feel about that. Moving on. Then we kind of went back to Erica. He talked about how Erica, you know, said Tom never read her book, and Tom didn't come see her in Chicago. And Erica was like, listen, that is what you do as a wife. You protect your husband. And she right about that. You know, you protect your husband. Like, she right about that. She said that she asked him for a divorce again, and you know, Andy was like, well, what did he say? He said nothing. Let me explain something to you. No, that's not what let me rephrase that. Erica didn't ask for a divorce. Erica said to Tom, if you are in love with another woman and you want to be with another woman, why don't you just divorce me? And she said Tom's response was nothing. Let me explain something to you. I better not ask my husband how he's doing today and he not respond. Something as serious as, well, if you don't love me and you in love with another woman, why don't you just divorce me? And you just don't have nothing to say. You don't have no response, no rebuttal to that. You just going to let him not answer and move on. Girl, bye. And third, did I skip second? Second of all, like I've been saying all season, ma'am, you didn't have a prenup. Why the fuck you ain't divorced him? Like, why did you, like, Erica, it's not, the math ain't mathing, okay? You are Erica Jane. You are the ice queen. You are the don't take no shit from nobody type chick. What do you mean to tell me that this man is disrespecting you and got all these mistresses and doing this and doing that? And this was before, allegedly, before y'all were broke. Girl, I don't understand why you didn't leave him. I could see if they had a prenup, then it would all make sense to me. Ma'am, y'all don't have no prenup. Nothing was stopping you. And I get it that Tom is the biggest, baddest, you know, attorney in the land. I get that. But let me tell you something. Every Goliath got a David. You could have found a lawyer somewhere that was willing to go up against the big bad Tom Girardi. You just would have. Anyway, we ended this episode on Andy asking her, was she faithful? Now again, I don't know if it was editing or she really hesitated, but she hesitated a long damn time, and then she sort of kind of rolled her eyes up. Girl, you cheated on Tom, and that's fine. Listen, nobody believe. Erica, come here, girl, come here. Let me tell you something. Just get a little closer. Let me tell you something. Nobody believed that you were faithful to him all these years. Like, girl, you ain't telling us something we don't know. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, child. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.